Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Healthy Her episode. Today's episode is going to be jam-packed full of practical tips and advice that you can start implementing in your everyday life straight away on how you can find time for healthy eating and your weekly workouts as a busy woman. Now, one of the biggest complaints that I receive and in my coaching calls and conversations with women is that, Jen, I just don't have time. I don't have time to eat healthy. I don't have time to work out. I have kids. I work. My husband's away. I'm a single mum. A lack of time is one of the biggest complaints that I come across. So in today's episode, I'm going to give you all of my top tips on how not only you can find time for exercise, but also how you can find time for healthy eating and nutrition. So I've broken today's episode into two parts. We've got time for exercise and also time for nutrition, because for some people are okay with the healthy eating part, but they struggle with the exercise, or vice versa. So in today's episode, there is going to be something for everyone. As we move into today's episode and as you listen to the different pieces of advice and tips that have worked for me, I just really want you to remember that at the end of the day, everyone has the same 24 hours in the day, and it all comes down to how smart you are and how effectively you use the time that you have, because we do all have the same 24 hours, but there are some really easy and simple ways that you can utilize the time that you have better, that you can work smarter with what you have, not necessarily harder. Like I said, as you listen to this episode, really think about that fact that we do all have the same 24 hours in a day. And the other thing I want you to think about as we move into the episode is about your mindset around time. Do you prioritize healthy eating and weight loss, or are you just someone that's saying, I don't have time for those things? But have you actually made those things a priority in your everyday? So we're really going to get stuck into all of that and break it all down in today's episode. Okay, let's look at our first part. So how do you find time for exercise as a busy woman? Now, I just want to say that it's not easy. You can jump on social media or talk to someone else and they're like, oh yeah, I do 7 workouts a week and 10K steps and I do this and it's super easy and da-da-da. That's great. For the majority of us, we are all busy. We are so time poor. We all have kids or families or partners, or we have jobs where they work like part-time or full-time. Like today's busy modern woman is juggling a lot of things. So if you're feeling like you're some sort of a failure because you have no time for healthy eating and exercise, you're not. You are not alone. I felt like that. So many women share the same feelings, but it's all just about how you look at it. And like I said, working smarter with the time that you have and being a bit more organized and a bit more pre-planned, and that will help set you up for success. All right. So how do you find time for exercise? Number one is you need to plan for it. Let's be honest. Do things happen in your life if you don't plan for them? Think about the simple thing of catching up with a group of girlfriends. I know trying to organize a catch up, there's 27 messages in the group chat because there's kids' sport, people have got things on. And if we don't plan for those catch ups, they just won't happen. And it's the same with exercise and moving your body. If you don't plan for it, it is not going to happen because life is busy, stuff happens all the time. So number one tip to make time for exercise is to plan for it. So some easy ways you can do that is to write it into your calendar, put it in your notes, put it in a diary, have a calendar on your fridge or somewhere where you will see it, and make your weekly workouts like small meetings, small non-negotiable meetings that you have with yourself. So same as if you are having to have a work meeting with someone and you write it in your diary or you pop it in your calendar, and at 2:00, I have a meeting with this person for a work commitment. Make it the same for yourself, because when you plan for things, they happen. If you don't plan for them, so if you just start your week and think, oh yeah, I might move my body, I might go to the gym a couple of times, I might take the dog for a walk, yeah, I might ask my friend if she wants to go to a Pilates class. Is it going to happen? No, it's probably not, because stuff's going to come up, your kid's going to get sick. It's just not going to happen. If you plan for it and if you make it a non-negotiable in your week, then you will work out regularly. You must plan for it, because what you plan for happens. Okay, number 2, ditch the perfect mindset. The perfect workout just doesn't exist. Like in your mind, you're probably thinking, okay, my perfect workout is like an hour of the perfect gym session where like I'm really sweaty and I feel amazing and I'm super motivated. Or for you, it might be an hour of an uninterrupted Pilates class, and that's your perfect workout. And the reality is that's not always possible for a lot of women. So it's really ditching that perfection mindset around your workout. There's no perfect workout. Any workout you do, any movement that you do, any exercise that you do is a perfect workout. So it's really about ditching the mindset around the way that you view a workout. So it's just not reality for a lot of women. So you need to be okay with what you can do and just accept that's enough. If you can do something as a workout in your week and you can do that thing consistently because you can fit it into your busy lifestyle, then that's great. You're doing amazing. So ditch that mindset that perfect workout has to look or feel a certain way, because like I said, it's just not going to go to plan that way. And that's one of the reasons that you're finding it hard and you're finding excuses like, I don't have time for exercise, because you're expecting every workout to be perfect and to look a certain way. All right, tip number 3, break it into chunks. So I don't have time for exercise. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time for a Pilates class. I work too much. My husband's away. Break your workout or your exercise into chunks. So if you can't commit in your day to a 1-hour walk because you've got a young baby or work commitments, or you work full time and your kids have commitments after school and you just can't commit to a solid 1-hour workout, don't do one. Go, okay, I can't do an hour, but I'm going to break it into 3 20-minute sessions. So you might do 3 20-minute walks throughout your day at times that are convenient and that suit you. It's still a 1 hour of exercise. It's still an hour of movement. So break your exercise and your workout into chunks. That may mean that your workouts, if you're a stay-at-home mum and you've got young children at home, it might be 15 minutes here, it might be 10 minutes there, it might be 20 minutes there. Yes, that's not the perfect workout that you wanted, but it is better than nothing. You're still moving, you're still getting a workout in, you're still doing your exercise, but we have to shift that mindset that it doesn't have to look a certain way. So be prepared to break your exercise into smaller chunks. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you failed or that it's not a good workout or that you're not going to get the benefits from moving your body. It is still the same. So break it down into chunks. Tip number 4, work in and around your schedule. Honest truth is, you're a smart woman. Like, you are a truly smart, intelligent woman, and you do have a busy schedule, but you can also work in and around that schedule. So there is always time somewhere. So how can you best fit exercise into your calendar? So for example, if you know that on Tuesdays you're slammed, like that is your most hectic, most busy day of the week, skip Tuesday. Leave that day out and put your workouts in your calendar on the other days where you find it easier to commit to. There is always a way that you can work in and around your schedule. So say for me, when I first started on my own weight loss journey, my workouts, I didn't go to the gym. My workouts were at-home workouts. They were 28 minutes long, and I did them in the games room or in front of the TV at my house while my baby napped. That was when I did my workouts, and that's how I fitted them in. So there is time, but you just have to work smarter and find a way to work your exercise and your movement in and around your schedule. So there's always time. It's just being a bit more flexible and finding a plan that works for you. Okay, tip number 5, be prepared to get uncomfortable. Now, we've talked about this briefly earlier in the episode, and there isn't going to be this perfect workout routine that you had planned in your mind. Okay. So, in your mind, you have this idea of the perfect routine, the perfect workout that has to look like a solid hour and a half at the gym, and it has to involve these things. Like, be prepared to get uncomfortable. Now, your exercise and your workout that you're going to do might not look like that, but what do you need right now? So, the example that I gave before, so I had a young baby at home. I still wanted to look after myself. I wanted to lose some weight. So, I worked in and around my baby's schedule, and I worked out why my baby had a lunchtime nap and they slept. Was that my perfect workout? No. Would I have much preferred to have had like a full hour at the gym on my own, by myself, doing things that I wanted to? Sure. But this is what I had to do at that time. So I had to be prepared to get uncomfortable. And I think something that's really important to remember is that that's just what you need right now. So for me at that time, I needed to stay with my baby. I needed to be at home. So that meant me fitting in around my schedule and doing those workouts at home with the minimal equipment that I have. I didn't have fancy gym. There wasn't big loud music. There wasn't other people around to motivate me, but I had to just get uncomfortable and do what I needed to do for now. And life changes all the time. My kids are a little bit older now, so I do get to go to the gym and enjoy myself at the gym by myself without having a baby with me all the time. So if you're in a stage of your life and your workouts look a certain way, that is completely okay. This is what you need to do to fit in exercise and to make yourself a priority for now. This isn't going to be forever. It'll change all the time. Your kids' routines change, life changes, things change. You might move house, stuff changes all the time. So don't ever feel like, oh, well, I can only fit in time for like 3 20-minute walks, or I can only fit in like a workout at this time because my kids, it has to fit in around my kids. That's fine. Just be uncomfortable for a little while. And like I said, your workout routine will change and things will improve and things won't always stay the same. Things are always shifting and changing. That goes the same for if you are someone. So for me, I used to work out at home and then I decided that I did want to join a gym and I wanted to do a bit more with my exercise and I didn't have the time. So for me, it meant waking up at 5 o'clock before my kids were awake so I could go to the gym. Was that ideal and perfect? No, not really, but I learned to love it and enjoy it. And that was just the season that I was in to make sure that I could still fit in exercise for myself and still make myself a priority. So stuff happens all the time. Like I said, routines change. So be okay with what you can do right now because life changes, stuff happens all the time. And before you know it, you'll be in a different place and be able to have a bit more of a flexible workout and exercise routine. Okay, they are my top tips for exercise and how you can find some time for exercise in your busy schedule and in your busy week. So let's jump in and talk about nutrition and healthy eating and how we can have time and make time for those things in our life. Now, I want to just jump in here before I start on the healthy eating tips and time-saving tips for nutrition. If you are listening to this and rolling your eyes and going, yeah, but you're making excuses for yourself. Like all of these things are really simple and really easy. And I guarantee there's probably at least 2 of them you could start doing tomorrow so that you can fit some sort of exercise into your weekly routine. The other one I wanted to add into, which I did forget to mention, is that there are so many other ways available to us as women now to make exercise easier. Like I've been talking to the girls in the Hype Gal membership because a lot of them are saying, oh, like I'm at home with my kids and I can't get out to the gym. Walking pads, hand weights, like there is so much stuff available. I don't know whether that part of the industry boomed, particularly around COVID because people had to go back to working out from home. But there are so many really cheap options, stationary bike, walking pad, like hand weights and things that you can buy from Kmart that are super cheap and effective and do the same job as going to a fancy gym. So don't be afraid to explore those options. YouTube workouts are another really great one. YouTube for free. You've literally got thousands and thousands of Pilates, aerobics, boxing, like whatever your type of workout is, you can access them within minutes from your TV at home. So be prepared to explore those other options. As we move into the nutrition tips, if you're rolling your eyes, please stop and please think, okay, I'm just making excuses for myself. I do have some time. How can I break up this time that I have? How can I work smarter, not harder? Like I said, these are really easy tips. They've worked for me day in, day out, and they continue to work for me. And I truly believe that you can easily implement some of them into your everyday lifestyle. All right, nutrition and healthy eating, time saving, and how to make time for it. Are you tired of the endless struggle to eat healthy and nail your meal prep routine? Introducing the Real Nourish Do-It-Yourself Meal Prep Mixes, the ultimate solution for busy women like you. When I went on my own personal health journey, I discovered the many benefits of meal prep. And after much searching, I just couldn't find a meal prep mix that was designed especially for women. So I literally decided to create my own. Trust me, as a busy working mum, meal prep has changed my life. Our mixes are packed with protein to keep you energized and feeling full. Our mixes can be whipped up in under 10 minutes, perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Using our award-winning pancake tray bake mix means you can say goodbye to standing over a hot stove, flipping pancakes. Simply add water, toss in your favorite fruits, and bake. If you're ready to revolutionize your meal prep game, you can find my mixes at theactivebod.com or follow us on Instagram at realnourish_. And as a special thank you to our Healthy Her community, we have a discount code. So just enter the code, TheHealthyHer, at the checkout. Now this is interesting. Number 1, plan for it. Funny that it was the same one for exercise. It is the same with healthy eating as exercise. If you don't plan for your healthy eating, it won't happen. Now, that is the reality. And I can honestly tell you, planning for healthy eating has been the number 1 secret to my success. So not only for weight loss, but also maintaining my weight loss and also being able to maintain those healthy habits that I created for myself as a busy working woman with a family and like running 3 businesses. Planning for my healthy eating means that it happens. If I don't plan for it, I'm nothing special. I don't do anything different. I'm just like you. If I don't plan for healthy eating, it's nuggets, it's pizza, it's takeaway, it's Uber Eats because I'm too tired and I can't be bothered. The power of planning your meals is huge. Now, if you ask any of the girls that are part of the Healthy Eating Hype Girl membership, they will all tell you, they will say, wow, planning my meals has been life-changing, or prepping my food has been life-changing. It saved me so much time and it helps me to eat healthy consistently. But the problem is that you won't see this advertised in the media, on social media, in the news, on the TV, because it's not sexy. It doesn't sell. You're not going to hear or see an advertisement. So plan your meals this week and drop 5 kilos, because people go, what? Like, that's not sexy. And it's just one of those things that's not talked about enough. And that's something I'm super passionate about with sharing on this podcast, is I want to share with you guys the stuff that actually works. This is the stuff that works. Planning for your healthy eating is what will help you eat healthy consistently. And that's why it's not talked about. It's not sold in programs. It's not because it's not sexy and it doesn't sell and it doesn't make people money. So planning for your healthy eating is how you will make it happen. Now, an easy way that you can do this is to write it in your diary. So for me, I started with like a meal prep Sunday. And so it wasn't just about Sunday prep, but it was also about planning out my family dinners for the week. So again, if you don't plan for it, so if you just go, oh yeah, like I might make a healthy salad that lunch and I'll do some grilled chicken on that night, it's not going to happen. Or if you allocate yourself some time during your week to plan out your meals, it will happen. So find a day that works for you, find a time that works for you, and just do it week in and week out. The first time that you do it, you'll feel a bit like, okay, like it might take you a little bit longer, but each time you do it, it takes less time and it just becomes easier to do. Okay, tip number 2 of how you are going to find some time to make healthy eating a priority. Number 2 sort of links in well with number 1, prep some of your meals. Now, again, this comes back to advertising and social media. And I do believe that meal prep is one of those things that's been blown up on the internet and people make it look really pretty and people have got like reels and videos and YouTube videos of 2 weeks worth of meal prep, family dinners and breakfast and lunch and all these different snacks and all of those kind of things. And it's not reality for today's busy modern woman, but prepping some of your meals, it is achievable and it is doable. But I think with meal prep, you need to go into it with the attitude that it can be flexible. Like some people like to prep some of their meals on a Sunday. If that works for you, do it then. If a Sunday doesn't work for you, don't do it on a Sunday. If Monday night works for you, or a Thursday afternoon, or first thing on a Tuesday morning, prep some of your meals at a time that suits you. And I think, like I said, it just comes back to this thing that was sold that meal prep has to look a certain way or it can only be done on a Sunday. And that's not the case at all. Like for me, it took a bit of playing around with different types of methods of meal prep and meal planning to find a system that worked best for me and my family. Be prepared to be a bit flexible and find a system that works for you. So pick the day that works for you, pick the time that works for you, and also decide the type of prep that works for you. Like I said, you look on social media and you'll see every meal prepped to perfection in these perfectly matching Tupperware containers all stacked up on the kitchen bench. You decide what kind of meal prep works for you. So for me personally, I like to do usually a breakfast prep and then plan out our dinners and like pre-prep some of the dinner. So it might be chopping up the vegetables or marinating the meat or those kind of things. That is what works best for me. You might go, nah, that's not for me. You might find that you're a freezer meal person that you go, oh, you know what? I find that if I just allocate some time and I make a heap of freezer meals, that saves me so much time during the week and that works the best for me. That's great. Do that. It's about finding what works for you. Now, it's one of those things because people come back and they'll say, oh, but I don't have time to meal prep. Yes, you do. You do have some time to meal prep. It might just mean less time scrolling on social media or not watching 5 episodes on Netflix, all of those kind of things, going to bed a bit earlier. Like you do have the time. It's just about finding those little pockets of time and making a priority to make that time available in your busy schedule. And meal prep is one of those things. It'll take you a little time, but I can tell you hands down, it will give you back so much more time during your week. Like that little bit of time that it takes you to prep some of your meals, you'll get that time back like tenfold throughout the week. And you talk to anyone and no woman who has ever prepped some of her food has ever regretted that decision. The time you don't always necessarily feel like doing it. You sort of think, oh, can't be bothered. I don't really want to do this or I'm a bit tired. You do it. And it's like a thing that you do for your future self. So the future you will thank you for allocating a little bit of time in your week to prep some of your meals. Tip number 3, the more you organize for yourself, the more time you will have. Something that's really worked for me is always try and be a day ahead of yourself. So if you're listening to this right now, think of tomorrow. So think, okay, hang on, what have I got on tomorrow? I've got this meeting on, I've got to work, I've got my kids' sport, I need to take my son to this appointment. Like what do you have? And try and be a day ahead. So think, okay, I'm not going to be home to make dinner. So I'll make sure that tonight when I get home from work, that I will prep some of the dinner so that when we get home late tomorrow night, I can just put something together in 10 minutes. Always try and be a day ahead of yourself, okay? And with time, this skill and this habit just becomes easier. Make sure that you allow yourself a little bit of time to organize yourself for the day ahead because again, future you will thank you for it. And then as well too, it's not like you're having to miraculously find this time that you didn't have. It's just that you forward thought about what you needed for tomorrow and you put those things in place today. Tip number 4, where your effort goes, your energy flows. So if weight loss and healthy eating is a goal, and if it is something that you really, truly, genuinely want to work on, then you'll make it a priority. I didn't. Like I said, I was the girl that rolled out of bed with an orange juice and a bowl of Cocoa Pops. I didn't make healthy eating and exercise a priority, and it showed. So if you're someone that's listening to this and going, yeah, I'm really trying to focus on becoming the healthiest, happiest version of you, and I'm really wanting to work on my healthy eating, achieve some weight loss, improve my wellness, then you will make planning your meals, prepping some food, scheduling in your workouts. You will make those things a priority. And it might mean sacrificing something else. It might be sacrificing, like I said, staying up late at night watching Netflix or those extra hours of scrolling on TikTok at nighttime. It may mean sacrificing something else, but you shouldn't look at it as like a bad thing because you're not sacrificing something. You're choosing to allocate your energy and your effort elsewhere. And when you decide to make those things a priority, that's where your energy goes. It goes towards those things. And over time, you'll just start to realize that these things just become a habit and you won't have to think about actively doing them all the time. And to wrap up today's episode, I really want you just to stop looking at others and what they do and just start to be prepared to be a bit more flexible and find a way and a schedule that works for you. Like I said in the beginning, we all have the same 24 hours. It's just how you choose to use those hours and that time that you have available. Doesn't mean you have to find extra time or that you have to stay up super late or never sleep again or all of those kind of things. It's just about working smarter, not harder with the time that you have. And a lot of it just comes down to being planned and being organized. And honestly, that is one of the big secrets to being able to eat healthy consistently and exercise consistently for a long period of time. You need to be planned and you need to be organized. I hope that you loved today's episode and that you're going to be able to take away some of these practical tips. Don't forget to screenshot and share this episode to your social media and follow and subscribe to the show so that you don't miss an episode every single week. And I will see you all in our next episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @theactivebod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.